I was kind of a careful kid. One of the first games I got for my first console, Sega Genesis, was Primal Rage. Mom? The thought of dinosaurs coming to life and beating the crap out of each other was so scary to me that I asked my dad to hide the cartridge from me. Then a year later, at my friend's birthday party, I played the game on an arcade, and I liked it so much I came home and said, "Father, I'm ready." Also, I didn't play Need for Speed Most Wanted because I was afraid of getting busted by the cops, so I only played Underground 2. Kids aren't bright people. There's an abundance of videos of people describing their childhood traumas. There's your Barneys, the Goosebumps, your Dark Crystals. Those are some baby shit compared to films made in the Soviet Union. This video is brought to you by Tears of Innocent Minors. Growing in a post-Soviet country made me into a really special boy. I didn't know lesbians existed till I was 13 years old. But of course the biggest difference is the cultural difference. And looking at my statistics, I can boldly presume that a vast majority of you haven't even heard of these films. This is my childhood trauma, Soviet edition. Every child around here knows the story of Brother Axe. It's a kid's story based on an Armenian fairy tale written by Hovhannes Tumanyan. Every child once thought, "Man, I'm so glad I'm only imagining this while my mom reads this out. It would sure be messed up if someone made a cartoon out of this."
Oh no!
Well, they did. They fucking did. And you know what happens in stories with an axe? Yeah, people are getting fucking murdered.
I told you guys, no fucking music, it's fucking bedtime. I told you 3 fucking times to turn that fucking light up. I swear to God, I'll fucking keep you.
So in short, the story is some lumberjack is passing by a village of morons that managed to survive to their current day and age without knowing what an axe is. We want question the logistics of that. So the guy decides to help them out and shows them how to chop off a tree. Then he hands them the axe and goes away, without leaving the WikiHow page open for them. And here comes my childhood nightmare fuel.
Stop! Axe time!
Okay, I'm joking, he cuts off his own leg. Also, I just noticed that he actually shrinks in volume while he bleeds out. Did I tell you it's made for children? And one more thing. They think the axe is sentient, so everything that happens is blamed on it. Mr. Officer, I swear I have nothing to do with the murder. In fact, I just performed citizen's arrest and I was waiting for your arrival. Seems legit. Dude, come on, stop resisting. It gets tamer later in the cartoon, honestly. The only true traumatizing part for me was the leg dismemberment, but it doesn't mean the other casualties aren't horrible. I especially love this guy that screams like a Half-Life NPC.
Stop! Axe time!
After an unsuccessful attempt at quote-unquote burning him in fire, they decide to imprison the axe in a barn. He sets the barn on fire and everybody is happy because it's warm. What a wholesome ending, aside of the fact that half of the village is dead! Next up is a 10-minute long cartoon called The Wise Gadget. It's also based on a written story, this time by Mikhail Saltykov-Shchedrin. It's a story for adults. I didn't know. There's something really unsettling about the art style, with its dark tone, the uncanny looking characters, and its absolute horror-inducing music. the voice of a narrator. To be honest, as an adult, I've grown to appreciate this story. So here it goes. In short, the story is about a Gudgeon that lives in a society. He's very afraid of getting eaten, so he digs a hole underground and lives there for 100 years. He doesn't go out, doesn't get any friends, doesn't marry, nor have offsprings. In short, he becomes the average 4chan user. In his deathbed, he sees one last dream, where he receives a medal for an invisible and wise way of living. But in his last moments, he starts questioning the value of his life. What were his blissful moments? To whom he gave a good advice? And will there be someone to remember him? We see him walk inside the clock, and we hear one last chime. The story is very depressive and bleak. And don't you try to prove to me that it's not relatable to you, you filthy nerd. Just kidding, why would I ever call a person those words who because of the latest unfunny meme virus doesn't go out, stop taking care of himself, and all he does is sit in front of a computer all day doing fuck all with his life? Wait a second. Alright, enough of this depressive talk. Hey, Michael, come on. Be an adult. Give me the gun, give me the gun. It's just a cartoon. Stop. Don't do it! No! Let's go back to shots from the film lost in my repressed memories. One of the scariest moments is when he sees the vision of his deceased father. You would expect to see a ghost or some sort of vision, but sure not fucking this!
А сколько страху он принял, когда услышал: «Смотри, сынок, жизнь прожить, не мутовку облизать. Гляди в оба».
Okay, thank you, Dad. You can pretty much imagine how scared I was when I first saw that. I really felt it in them bones, if you know what I'm saying. I wonder if that joke tickle his funny bone. That was so bad. The other scene that absolutely destroyed me is this. So our main character sees another Gudgeon getting fed up with his role in the society, and when he tries to speak out, it catches the ear of the authorities. And I'll just let this play out for you.
Вот если бы все так жили, как этот премудрый пескарь, то-то бы в реке тихо было.
I don't think I need to add anything to this. I'm just gonna say, Little Eric was not the same after that. The character that creeped me out the most, regardless of the scene, was this pike. He straight up looks like a reject model from Pathologic. I don't really know what's about him. Is it the long snout, his big slouchy frame, or the eyes, but whenever he was on screen he triggered my fight or flight reflex. But I like him now, he's cool looking. The last shot of the film with the melting clock. Even as a kid, I understood the implications, and it made me scared of the thought of dying. For me, no other movie was able to portray the nihilistic nature of life as effectively as the Wise Grundle. I'm really glad that I came back to this as an adult and was able to appreciate it in a whole new way. My last pick is a stop motion cartoon consisting of 3 episodes, but I'm mostly gonna focus on the second episode, the name of which translates to In Search for Bumber. Bumber is the name of this lovely fella. Honestly, I could choose any stop motion Soviet cartoon because almost all of them look fucking terrifying, But this one is special. Let's take a look at the characters. The cat looks plain wrong. The dude looks like torpedo neighbor who's also a violin player. And I had a crush on this mouse.
Don't laugh.
Man, and the bird. Fuck this bird. You could choose any frame from this cartoon and always get something unsettling. Bonus points if it has the bird in it.
Fuck this shit.
The strange thing is, compared to my other examples, the plot of this cartoon is really innocent. And I wasn't really scared from it, but I would always get sad while watching the second episode. Episode 2 was like getting my heart broken for the first time. The mouse was the only character that didn't look like she came from the darkest depths of my young, imaginative mind. So naturally she had her place in the long list of my childhood cartoon crushes. The other character I felt a connection with was Bamber himself. I don't know why, but I would always project myself on him. I empathized with him. Even though I was so scared of him, I would get recurring nightmares of him. I didn't remember the exact reason why I was so distressed, until I got to the moment where this hunter takes them hostage, ties the mouse to a bullseye, and forces Bamber to do whatever he wishes. If Bamber disobeys, he shoots at the bullseye. So remember how I said I was really attached to the characters? Well, to my eyes, this looked like an ISIS video, but to my heart, this felt like I'm being toyed around at a gunpoint in front of the love of my life crying. And then I see her die. For years, knowing that it turns out she's fine at the end, watching that part made me die inside. So, what I'm saying is, don't check out Soviet cartoons. Also, never get attached to fictional characters, you weirdo.
Ducks will do it with almost anything that quacks.